stepped close and grabbed her wrist, snatching the deerskin pouch with his free hand.
"Nothing but weeds. Are you trying to cast some kind of spell, witch?"
"No, monsieur." She fought harder to swallow back her fear. A whisper of the word witchcraft could see her dangling from the gallows. "I am simply gathering herbs to heal fever." The man spat without releasing her wrist.
"You are stealing those weeds off my land. I could see you hanged."
He wasn't lying. She paused for a brief moment to consider whether she could inflict enough damage on the brute of a man to enable her escape. He took a step closer.
"Don't be upset,"
he said, caressing her cheek with a dirty finger and moving closer still. Close enough that she could smell his rancid, whiskey-laced breath.
"You're too pretty for the hangman's rope. We might be able to work something out."
Anger flashed in her eyes. This grimy man spoke as if she were the dirt beneath his feet, and he was going to force her to tell her full identity, something she'd sworn never to do.
"I don't think so."
Manon broke his grasp on her wrist and stepped backward.
"This land is not yours. It belongs to Seigneur Lefebvre."
She spat his name like a curse. The lord of these lands had once been her protector, but she hated using his name to earn her freedom all the same. Before she could react, one of the farmer's massive hands slammed into her cheek and stars dotted her vision.
"How dare you!" Manon growled. "I know the seigneur. I was known as Manon Lefebvre to your people. The seigneur would not appreciate your behavior toward me. But please, continue, if you wish to lose every inch of your lands."
Manon saw a shimmer of fear in the farmer's eyes.
"Likely tale, you brown trollop," he said, voice wavering. "How do I know you aren't lying?"
"Madame Lefebvre's parents live less than a mile from here," Manon said. "They will vouch for me and my right to be here. I'm sure they'll welcome the intrusion over a bag of weeds that means nothing to any of you."
"You're lying," the man pressed, "trying to trick me."
Her hunter's instincts forced her heart to slow and her breathing to steady. If he fought, she would defend herself, but killing, or even injuring, a white man would cost her life. He had to go with her to the Deschamps' house. "Monsieur, I speak the truth," she said, returning to a respectful tone. "The Deschamps can assure you that the seigneur has no objection to my presence here." The man hesitated. Anyone might know the landholder's name, but his wife's family was not of the first circles.
"Fine then. Lead the way if you know it so well."
She started west, toward the cultivated fields. Her moccasins made a slap, slap, slapping noise on the hardened earth. She moved quickly, but not fast enough to give the farmer cause to think she would run. He trudged along a few paces behind her, breathing laboured from the exertion.
"Hurry up, you great moose. I need to get home."
Less than 10 minutes later, Manon knocked on the door of the small but inviting farmhouse. Though visitors here were scarce, the flickering of the fire and the smell of good food radiated the kind spirit of its mistress. An old woman answered the door. She no longer stood as straight as she once had, but moved with efficiency. No spark of recognition lit the woman's eyes as she looked with a furrowed brow at the unknown girl.
"Manon!"
The cry came from behind the woman. It was the first time anyone had called her by her French name in ages, and it fell hard on her ears. Familiar chestnut hair and soft eyes came into view. It had been 5 years since Manon last saw Nicole Lefebvre, the woman she once considered her mother. The years had been kind to Nicole, leaving only a few lines of experience around her eyes and a bit more fullness to her hips. Nicole dressed in fine fabrics, perfectly cut and tailored, as one would expect from a woman of status, even in her small community. "Hello," was all she could utter as Nicole took her in her arms.